What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about, or this video, we're going to talk about Newcastle. And the reason why I want to talk about Newcastle is not because, they're in the Champions League or they're playing extremely well. It's mainly because, in my opinion, I think Newcastle are the one team in the league. Maybe there's probably like three or four of these teams, but they're one of the teams that I feel like you know exactly what you're going to get when you're watching a Newcastle match. You know exactly how they're going to play, how they're going to set up, the energy that they're going to bring, whether they're home or away. And despite how they've started this season, which granted it was a rough start, that those two losses to Liverpool and Arsenal, man, those were some daggers. But I still think they've started off really well. They lost to two of the best teams in the league, so it's understandable. But I like a lot of what Newcastle has going on. In my opinion, I think they're a very well-run team. I think Eddie Howe has them playing some exquisite football. I think the addition of Voltemata is just, honestly, it looks to be like the perfect nine that they needed. They didn't need anybody else. Voltemata looks like he's doing everything for them. He's dropping back. He's getting the goals. He's bringing everybody into play. He's retaining possession. He looks like he's not the finished article, but he looks really refined. I mean, I'm surprised that he's come into this league and just looked like he's been here for 2 years now already. But in terms of Newcastle, Newcastle's an interesting team because they're one of those teams that it's like they're right on the cusp of something amazing, but they're also right there where they can just fall off. They can have a season where they finish 8th, or they can have a season where they finish 4th. And I think Newcastle has a lot of amazing players. I like majority of their team. All their players have great qualities. There's a few players on the bench that I'm a little bit iffy about, like Osula. Lewis Miley has really fallen off, and I've watched so many of his cameos, and he just doesn't look like he has something about him. You know when you see a player and you know exactly what they're going to give you. It just seems like Lewis Miley just doesn't give much in terms of changing the game, whether it's changing it to calm it down, changing it to bring energy, to try to win the game. He just looks like one of those players that he's kind of in limbo. Like he's not really offering too much at the moment. But let's go from the back. I mean, Nick Pope, he's having an astonishing season, and he's not going to be England's number one, but Nick Pope he's excellent. This year he's just performing at the highest level. The game against, who was it? I think, was it against Arsenal where he just had so many saves? Yeah, I believe it was probably against Arsenal. But he's been making a lot of great saves for Newcastle. I've been really impressed with Nick Pope. And I know his feet aren't like the best, but he's been doing well enough. Like, I'm more concerned with the keeper, how they save the ball, how they parry the ball away from danger, how they command their box, come out for crosses. Keepers with their feet, I'm not with that whole new generation as much. I mean, I like a keeper that can play, but that's not what I look for in a keeper. Okay, I got to talk about this player, Dan Burn. Now, Dan Burn, he's not even meant to be a utility player. He's meant to be a center back, but this guy, he can perform at left back like he did at Brighton. Now he's doing it at Newcastle. He can perform at center back. Shoot, I bet he could perform at striker if you really wanted him to. And even though Dan Burn is, I don't know if he's slept on per se because he still gets some England call-ups, but I don't think people rate him as highly as probably they should because he's really like Newcastle's linchpin in the back line. He stops so many counters. He clears so many headers. He clears so many crosses. And he's actually, for his height, he's extremely good on the ball. Like, I think, what is he, like 6'6" or 7'7"? He's extremely good on the ball, and he's calm under pressure. I think Dan Burn is probably one of the more underrated players in this Newcastle side in the league. Actually, I think Dan Burn's sublime. Another player I want to talk about that just came this summer is Malik Thiaw. I didn't think he was going to actually adjust to this league that quickly, but he seemed to fit in perfectly. These past few games where Fabian Schär has been injured, he's done a great job. Thiaw hasn't put a foot wrong. He's played well. He's defended well. He's recovered well using that pace. And I think he actually complements Kieran Trippier, because Kieran Trippier has a lack of pace. I think he complements Trippier perfectly, because Trippier, he's a right back that can go forward, play a great cross, and having TR back there just to shore up the defense, whether he has to step into the tackle or track back and recover, I think that's helping Trippier a lot. Botman, after all these injuries, he's still sound. He's still sublime. He still does what he needs to do at center back. And it's going to be interesting now that Fabian Schär is back, where Schär fits in, because Fabian Schär is a great defender as well. But it seems like Botman and TR are having a good partnership at the moment. They're focused. They both play off each other really well. When one steps, the other one covers. If TR has to make a last-ditch effort to recover because people are out of position, he does that really well. And let's see if Fabian Schär comes back in, but Newcastle have Champions League football as well, so I'm sure they're all going to rotate. And now let's get to the best part, in my opinion, of this Newcastle side, the midfield. This midfield is full of workhorses, but they're not just workhorses. Tonali and Guimaraes are extremely technical, extremely good. And I don't know if you guys listened to the overlap, but I think I heard Paul Scholes saying he feels that Tonali is better than Declan Rice. I don't agree with that, but I can understand where he's coming from, because Tonali is an exceptional player, and he's a great box-to-box. And the interesting about Newcastle's midfield three is that if you look at all three of them, they don't really have a true number 6. They don't. They all can interchange and go attacking and be box crashers. They can all sit back when they need to. One can hold, two can hold. It all just depends, because if you look, Joe Linton, he definitely gets into the box when he needs to. Guimaraes, he has 2 goals this season already, so he gets forward. And Tonali, if you see how he strikes a ball, he's definitely getting forward. So they have such an interesting combination of players that it's like you don't know who's going to be sitting, who's going to be going forward, but one of them always occupies a certain space at all time, which I think is testament to how Eddie Howe coaches, because it's not easy to play a game without a true number 6. I mean, look at most teams in the world, most top teams in the world, they will always have a true number 6 that is there no matter what. And it seems like Newcastle have decided to go with 3 engines, which is nothing wrong with that, and it's working out for them. And in my opinion, I always liked this 3-engine midfield a lot if you have a potent attack. I do like having a number 10, but this game is just so fast in the Prem and so physical that having a number 10-like player is very difficult to do. Now, onto their attack. Alanga, Voltemata, and Gordon. I'm going to start with Alanga because I think he's not having the best season compared to the other ones. Gordon's not having the best season either, but he's getting back into form with those 2 goals versus in the Champions League. And he's looking like he's a little bit more threatening than he has been in the past. But Alanga, it's very tough because I think James Murphy is an exceptional player. I think James Murphy should be the one starting. I think James Murphy does a lot of things really well that he gets overlooked for. Last season, James Murphy had a great season. I think he had like 10 goals maybe. And James Murphy he's a very, very, very good player, and he goes under the radar for a lot of managers. I think Eddie is starting to see now that maybe James should be starting on that right side, now that I've seen Alanga come off the bench lately. I mean, he started against, who was it? Nottingham Forest. But, I mean, he looks dangerous sometimes, and he can play a good cross, but I just think James Murphy offers a bit more. Next, we're going to go to Anthony Gordon. I mean, that red card versus Liverpool kind of stunted his season. He's just getting back now, starting from the Arsenal match. And now that he's playing on the left wing, now that they have a striker up top, he looks much better. Him playing the 9 just wasn't going to work for Newcastle. They needed a 9 to come in, and they got the 9 they were looking for. And now he's starting to look a lot better. He's starting to get into the positions that Newcastle wants him in, starting to drive at pace. He's looking a lot more improved than he has in the past. I still think there's another level for Anthony Gordon to get to. I don't think he's hit his prime. I think there's still another level. He's got so much technical ability, so much pace that I think there's still another notch he can reach. And now for the main man, Nick Voltemata. Voltemata is one of the most unique strikers you will come across ever. Like, ever. 6'6", lanky, good on the ball, good technique, can finish. He's aggressive. He's got tenacity. He's coming to this team flying with 3 goals already in the Premier League. And he still has so much room to grow. Like, he still has so many things he can refine to be that finished article. Because I think, how old is he? I think he's only like, let me see. He might be only like 22, 23 years old. He's 23 years old. And at 23, he's already the main man for Newcastle, it seems like. I don't know if Wisa is going to come in and take his spot, per se, like just like that. But Nick Voltemata he's a talent. And I'm excited to see how much he improves as the season goes on, as the games goes on, as he gets more comfortable. I mean, right now is probably the best case scenario for Voltemata because Wisa's out injured and he's not going to come back till probably early November. So it seems like Voldemort is just going to get all the minutes, all the experience, all the time to get used to the game. I mean, he's already used to it seems like. And if you watch his game, he's very good on the ball. Like, when he drops deep to collect the ball as a center forward, he holds it up really well. He doesn't seem like he's the strongest player, but he knows how to use his body to his best advantage. So if Voldemort can just, keep improving, get more chances, if they even can get more quality crosses to him in the box, whether it's from Trippier and Alanga or Gordon crossing it in with his right or his left, I think Nick can have a 10 to 15 goal season because once they get that down, that crossing game down, and he's already scored a few crosses already, I think he'll be a very scary forward and one to look out for the future. But in terms of Newcastle, I think they're having a great season. Those 2 losses, it doesn't mean much. They can score a bit more goals, but, I mean, right now I'm assuming they're just trying to get points on the board at the moment. And, they have Nick as a new 9, so they're still trying to work out how he plays. But yeah, I'm liking how Newcastle are playing. I'm liking what they're doing. I think they need some reinforcements in January. I would say they probably need two midfielders. Because Lewis Miley is just not looking like how he should. I just don't think he's ready to get the maximum minutes that is required for a team in the Champions League that wants to compete on all fronts. But that's what I think about Newcastle, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you guys think Newcastle is doing so far, what you think they can improve on, the positives, the negatives, how you think about my analysis, because, there's some people that might watch every single Newcastle game. I think I've watched, let me check. I've probably watched every game this season as well. I watched Forest. I watched the Champions League. I watched Arsenal. I watched Bournemouth. I watched Liverpool. I've watched several games for them. So I'd like to think I've seen a lot about them, but you guys can let me know. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Peace.